Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny!
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick FMK, where we watch the horror movies and we let you know if we'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. And on this week's episode, I am joined by a special guest. It's our newest Patreon member, newest member of the Fright Flick family, Rolinda. Rolinda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Super excited. And this came up because on Facebook, after you joined the Patreon, you know, we were back and forth on Facebook, and you were talking about horror movies a lot. And I was like, well, shit, you seem to like horror. I said, why don't you jump on the show?
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I apologize in advance. I've lost my voice, so I know I sound crazy, but
what that shows, it shows our few handful of followers out there, the sacrifices we give up on this show. Like you are struggling through it right now.
I am. I'm drinking hot toddies tonight, and we're doing the damn thing.
Damn right. Like I said, these are the sacrifices we make to please.
Yes.
I would say please the masses, but we fucking know there's not masses out there.
We're pleasing all 12 of you.
Damn it right. Our faithful few.
Yeah.
Like our little cult following.
I love it. Our little weird family.
But yeah, I reached out to you and asked if you want to do a show, and you were like, yeah. And so and that just goes to show you people, when I tell y'all this on episodes sometime, like make recommendations and shit like that. Hey, I'm all for people coming on here and talking movies with me. Like I said, I don't expect shit. We're gonna get on here and talk, and that's about it. And I was, you know, I'm glad you reached out and said you're willing to do it. You said this is your first time doing a podcast.
Yay!
Yeah. And most people hear me talk and think it must be my first time, because I will fucking, you know, stumble my way through.
No, you're great. You're great. You're a great host. I love it.
So when you reached out, one of the things that popped in my mind, and I was going to ask you on the show, is how the fuck did you stumble across this shit show?
Funny you should ask. So, my favorite horror actor of all time is Bill Oberst Jr.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm not going to shut up, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it to all 12 of you listening.
Mm-hmm.
I have a huge crush on Bill Oberst Jr. Huge.
Awesome, Bill.
Yeah. So yeah. Call me. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
But so it is. Let me just back up a little. It's the middle of the pandemic. I'm sitting here with too much time on my hands, and I see. It might have been on Tubi. I don't know. I see Circus of the Dead, and I'm like, okay, let's check it out. The second I saw Papa Corn, I was like, who is that fine ass clown? He's so hot, which is totally fucked up because we all know what Papa Corn does.
Hey.
But I watched it and I'm like, those eyes, oh God, this man's beautiful. So I started just devouring everything that Bill Oberst Jr. did. So at some point we became Facebook friends, yay. And then back in November, he posted a link to your show. And he was like, hey, check out this podcast. Jay is the guy that does Fright Flick FMK. And he's doing 4 episodes for my birth month, blah, blah, blah. Here's the movies that he's going to cover. And I was like, count me in, motherfucker. I'm in. And then listening to that, I was like, I think it sounded like, Jay, he's your favorite horror actor.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think you also discovered him through Circus of the Dead.
Yep.
So I was like, oh my God, that's just crazy. And then, of course, I heard him on your podcast, and, you know, both of you are just such nice, kind people. And that came through with your interview with him. So that was awesome. And then the more, so I subscribed to your podcast, and then just the more I listened, the more I realized how much you and I have in common with horror. Um, Even though I've loved horror my whole life, and you came into it later in
Yeah.
life. Um, I think you said the first horror movie you saw was Poltergeist. Is that right?
Yep. The original, the OG.
Yeah, the OG. So
Yep.
here's my OG Poltergeist story. I am like, I guess I'm 9 years old at the time. And my dad's like, come on, I'm taking you to the movies. And I'm like, okay. We go to the movie theater. I say, I want to see Poltergeist. He gets me in, and then he bails. He's gone. So I watched Poltergeist in the theater by myself, and I fucking loved
Father
it.
of the year.
Father of the Year. Yeah, yeah. So, Dad, if you listen, I love you. So we get back home, and my mom is like, "What movies did you guys see?" And I'm like, "Well, Dad dropped me off at Poltergeist." And she was like, "What the shit?" Now I understand. She wasn't so mad about, she probably didn't even know what Poltergeist was.
Yeah.
But the fact that he dropped me off meant he was probably doing something she didn't need to know about. You know,
Whoa, whoa.
I don't know. So yeah, that is where my love of horror began, and I just think it's interesting that you and I, that was our first experience with horror. And then, my dad even, talk about Father of the Year. Not much later, he and I watched A Clockwork Orange together. And I look back now and I was like, I was a little young for that, but still one of my favorite films. And so little does he know that he shaped my little mind to love horror the way that I do. So
I've never
thanks,
seen
Dad.
that. I've never seen that.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
I say check it out. Check it
What
out.
was it? What was the name of it again?
A Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange. Yep, I'll have to look
Yeah,
into it then. Yep,
it
never
was a
seen it.
book. Yeah, it was a book by Anthony Burgess, and then Stanley Kubrick made it into a film. I'm gonna guess maybe 1979. But it's fantastic. Check it out. And then I don't know you if you know much about Kubrick, but it might open that door to explore more of his films if you haven't seen them.
I would
So
definitely look into it. I'm I'm
cool.
I'm always looking for suggestions when it comes to movies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And like my little brother's the one that got me into the horror movies. And lucky for me, me and him are kind of like the same taste.
yeah,
We we enjoy horror, and I love it. Me myself, I'm I watch them. I'm not a huge fan of the basic normal Jason, Freddy, that normal
yeah,
shit. I like the
yeah,
extreme shit. I love the
yeah,
fucking, just nasty shit.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah. That's
turns me away. I have yet to come across one that made me be like, "Oh, I can't
yeah.
fucking watch this." And I'm a big fan. And I do see you have a popcorn T-shirt.
Let me just show it off.
Hey, Circus of the fucking Dead. Did see? I feel sure you follow all the same pages, but you did
Yeah.
see they're making a Circus of the Dead too.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
Popcorn's
So
coming back.
yes, and thank you, Bloody Bill. Oh my God.
Yes.
Talk about another nice guy.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
A,
Yep.
a demented mind, but what a nice guy,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and a fellow Texan. So, yeah.
I can't jump on that Texas wagon.
Well, I may be from there. I do not live there.
But yeah, so I'm a, me and him have, he hit me up a couple times through Instagram. We've
Yeah.
messaged. He sent me a ton of, you know, the the Circus of the Dead shit. The picture behind me, he like signed and everything,
Oh, right
and
on.
I've got several Circus of the Dead pictures up, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is, and I tell people all the time, that is my number one favorite horror movie. That's it. You
Hands
know,
down, me too.
yep.
I actually have an acquaintance back in Austin. Her name is Erica Jane America, and she is a very gifted artist.
Hmm.
And she painted a painting of Circus of the Dead. And I have a canvas print of that painting hanging above my bed, which is probably why I am still single. But yeah, I'll send a picture of that to you because
That's awesome.
you'll probably like that piece of art. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got quite a collection of Circus of the Dead Bill of Birth stuff.
Yeah.
I've ordered. Bill has sent me several things. He's autographed for me and stuff like that. Like the dude is just super, and we're supposed to be here covering a whole nother movie, but right now
I know.
we're just loving on some Bill O'Burst right now.
Yeah, I knew he would. I knew he would.
Yeah,
I
it's all good.
yeah, I actually met him at Phoenix FearCon 2021,
Oh damn.
and I was fangirling out and so like nervous, but he's just a regular guy and
Oh, the
he's so
dude is super
nice.
nice. Super
And
nice.
I'll send you the pictures that I took with him too.
Yeah, like I said, that's my next thing. Like the first time I met him, my brother interviewed him for his podcast, the Spread the
Cool.
Dread. He brought Bill on because
Yeah,
he was doing a thing to where he was looking for like people who were in movies and stuff.
yeah.
And because I'm the one to introduce my brother to him. My brother never heard of him until Circus of the Dead. And I told my
Oh,
brother, I was like, hey man, you gotta watch Circus of the Dead.
yeah.
And so once he's seen Bill O'Burst, he reached out to him, brought him on his show, and he told me, he's like,
Cool.
guess who I'm interviewing this week? And I was like, who? He's like, Bill O'Burst. I was like, fuck you. but they surprised me on a Saturday afternoon. He hits me up. He's like, hey man, are you at your computer? I was like, yeah. He's like, log into Zoom. Well, he logged in. I logged in and he had set up a call for me and Bill. And
Oh,
man, I was just like you said, I was a little fanboy.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I was stammering over I was just saying dumb shit because I was so, awestruck. And then you have to just remember he's just a person.
Yep. Papa fucking corn.
I know, yeah.
Oh, and I am counting down the days to Circus of the Dead too. And did you see the post Billy posted about how you could be in the movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been
Mm.
sharing that definitely because I'm not an actor, I'm not a filmmaker, but I
But
definitely want to still help support. I'm like, how can I donate? He's like, just share.
yeah,
So
because I'm
yeah,
one
for
of those
sure.
I would love to be able to go do it because I would love to have Bill Burst like lick my face and then
Oh,
fucking kill me some way.
yeah,
Just fucking
yeah.
that would be
It'd
it.
be
Like
great.
take me out of the world now. I have reached my moment.
That's great. You should totally be in Circus of the Dead too.
I need to do my headshot so I can get that
Do
shit
it.
up there.
Do it.
But like I said, I appreciate you coming on here, and we have, we've loved on Bill enough.
Yeah.
We can never love on Bill enough.
No.
You really can't. And if you've listened to this and you're sitting there going, "Who the fuck's Bill O'Burst Jr.?" Go to fucking Google, people.
Yeah.
Circus
Yeah.
of the Dead.
Yeah.
Just go there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the fact that he's had some little bit pieces and some pretty big stuff.
Oh yeah, he's done so much.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, he's done
So much
great,
stuff.
great work. Seriously, he's such a hard working man,
Oh yeah,
working
he
all the
is.
time.
Dude he stays busy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can't wait. I want to meet him one day, and I'm hoping that one day when because me and Bloody Bill had through Instagram was messaging one day,
Uh-huh.
and he brought up the big Texas HorrorCon type thing that takes place
Yeah.
somewhere down there in Texas. And he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
made the comment to me because he was there, and he made the comment in the message. He's like, I need to see if I can get Bill down here. And I was like, if you get Bill down there, dude, you let me know because I
Absolutely.
will
Yeah.
skip work or
Yeah.
whatever I need to do for a couple days, and I'll make that ride to Texas.
Yeah,
From
that's worth going to Texas for.
yeah,
Fright Fest, Texas
yeah,
Fright
that
Fest.
one. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, if word comes out that Bill's gonna be there, I'm making that road trip. I told my wife, I was like,
Absolutely.
Jess, baby, I said, we loading up the car if Bill comes to Texas.
Absolutely. Yep.
But yeah, I said, but yeah, um, once again, I appreciate you, following along with the shit show. I appreciate it. Like I said,
Of course.
it's cool to, reach and talk to people or whatever who have, stumbled across us,
Yeah.
and like I know we're not for everybody, but there's some sick fucks out there, like Ro here, that gets down with the Fright Flick family, and so
Yeah.
we do this for y'all. We do
Yes.
this for that handful of people out there
Yes. The
that
handful of
listen along to this.
fucks.
So and I want to turn this over to you. What movie? And this was your pick. Because I was like, hey, what do you want to cover? I'm one
Okay.
of those, I'm always open for suggestions. There's no plan
Yeah.
here. So I left it
Yeah.
in your hands. I said, what do you want to talk about?
I know. And I was like, when you said that, you're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, oh man, I froze for a second, but that's why I made all these notes. So when you asked me that, sorry, I'm scrolling through notes at this point.
Oh, no, you're good.
Because I decided to do Terrified, directed by, I'm gonna butcher his name.
We butcher all the names here.
Yeah, we love it. Demian Rugna.
It sounds good to me.
Um, yeah. And the film is from 2018. Um, and I have a tiny little blurb. I may or may not have copied off of Shutter, but
I
according to
do
Shutter,
I do the same shit. Don't worry about
yeah, yeah,
it.
just to get started.
Yeah.
On an ordinary suburban street in Buenos Aires, voices are heard from kitchen sinks. Bodies are levitating. Evil is here. It is up to a doctor, her colleague, and an ex-cop to get to the bottom of this neighborhood nightmare.
See, you were more
So,
in detail than I was. I copied some
ooh,
shit from IMDb that was pretty fucking
ah,
basic.
and it's funny because and then and I try to get, I just watched it the way I think that you do. I just turned on the movie and started typing.
Yeah.
And of course, apparently what I wrote the other night says opens with a woman with a juicy booty washing dishes.
At least, see, you noticed
Yeah,
the juicy booty.
it
Mine
had
just
a
said lady at
uh,
the sink hearing noises. That was the first thing
yeah,
I wrote.
I saw that booty. I saw that booty. I had to add it. Yeah.
And which it was a big booty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good booty.
Yeah. And for this one, there is a cast of names that were in
Yeah.
this movie
Yeah.
that I'm not even going to do them wrong by trying to pronounce them.
I'm gonna
Um,
look at them. Will I
yeah,
try? I
I
can try.
you can go right ahead and see what you can do with them because I do
Look.
like the Commissioner of Funds. I call him Commissioner Fun. Funes. I call him Fun.
Oh, yeah. Um, Kineser I don't know, I think it's Funes,
Oh, I
but
feel
you
sure it
can't
is.
understand Funes, Funes. I don't know. Let me take a little sip of my hot toddy for this terrible, throat, and
Hey, hot
here's
toddies, gentleman Jack. We're gonna roll with it.
yeah. We're off to a good start.
Yes.
Um, so it looks like we have Maximiliano Gione, oh god, that's terrible, as
See,
Commissioner Fionis, Noberto Gonzalo as Jano,
Janu.
El Jano?
I call him
El
Jan.
Jan, Jano, Elvira Oneto as Dr. Maura Albrecht, George L. Lewis as Rosentalk,
Mm-hmm.
Julieta Veina as Alicia, Demion, oh god, Salomon as Walter,
Salamon.
yeah, Agustin Ritano as Juan
His last name.
Natalali.
His last name makes me want spaghetti for some reason. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah, me too. I should have said it in an Italian accent, but I would butcher that as well. Ritano. Uh,
Britano.
Natalia Signoralis as Clara. She would be the woman with the juicy booty, hearing voices in the sink in the opening scene.
Yep.
Mateus Ras I'm not even gonna try, as
Yep.
the boy,
The
and
boy.
Lorenzo Longer as Patricio.
Who the that? I seen that when I pulled the cast up. Who the fuck was Patricio? Was that the dude, the
Um,
husband
oh,
to Fat
oh,
Booty Girl?
no, that is Juan.
Oh
Juan
shit.
is the husband of Juicy Booty. Patricio is one of the um police officers that will be in a
Oh,
certain
okay.
scene
Okay,
that
gotcha.
I say is the scene.
Yeah. Gotcha.
We're already
So,
spoiling the shit out of this.
hey,
So if you haven't seen it, pause it, go watch it, and then come back to the shit show.
yeah, we're going to spoil it. Like I said, there's
Yeah.
no other way around it.
Yeah.
This one's been out for a minute, so you've had plenty of time to watch it. If you haven't, I
Yeah.
think it's on Shutter. You can just watch it on
Yeah.
Shutter, I think,
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's not free. Shutter's not free, but
Yeah.
it's like $5 a month. So
It's the best $5 a month I
it is.
spend.
Shutter's
Oh my
awesome
God.
because I do the AMC. I do the AMC
Yeah.
yearly. I think one
Okay.
year AMC was like $40 for a whole year, and it's got
Oh.
Shutter and all the other shit rolled up into it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
So,
Interesting. I'll check
yep.
into that.
That's
Yeah.
how I do the Shutter one. But like I said, I came across it on Amazon. I bought it, and you can also rent it on Amazon. So if you
Yeah.
wanted to rent it for like $3 or whatever, you can rent it there also. But
Yeah.
I had watched this movie probably a little over a year or so ago, and so I didn't remember nothing about it. I remember when you said the name. I remember seeing it scrolling through here lately, so when I sent you a picture earlier, I was like, I want to make sure we're watching the same movie. I was like, this
I'm
is the
talking
one.
about Terrifier.
Yeah, we're talking about Terrified. And so I knew I had the right one. And so I
Yeah.
bought it on Amazon and watched it. I just watched it today. And before we started doing the recording, I
Yeah.
wanted to be fresh on it.
Yeah,
So
me too.
what normally I wait to the end to rate them. But sometime when we get to talking about it, we will give away
Yeah.
how we feel about this movie as we go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
let you the guest host, you the
Oh.
guest. So are we going to rate it now and get it out of the way and then just roll with it, or do you want to wait to the end?
Oh, that is a good question because I kind of want to leave our listeners hanging, but at the
Well,
same time, they
we,
probably already have a pretty good idea of what we think about
it don't matter
it.
to me.
So,
We'll leave them fucking hanging. Don't matter.
okay, okay. Because I'm
So
I'm actually scrolling through my notes. I'm like, what did I say about it? Because I know I said in closing, and then I had a little tidbit about why I rated it the way I rated
we'll fine. We can hold off to the end then.
it. Okay.
We're
All
gonna
right.
roll through it. As we do this, we're gonna talk about this thing throughout the
Yeah,
movie, how it goes, what happened.
absolutely.
We're gonna roll with it that way.
Cool.
And if you're new to this show, if somehow you once again, like Ro here, stumbled across us and you seen the title and all you seen was Fright Flick, and if you seen the FMK, you should know, unless you were born under a fucking rock, that the
Yeah,
FMK means fuck, marry, kill.
yeah,
And the way we rate them is marrying it is the best. That's the one. That's our forever. That's that movie you can go to any day of the week and pop it in, and you're good. The fuck is our friends with benefits. That's the one you just call up when you got a little itch you need scratched. You don't really have no certain. You don't know what you need. You just know you need something scratched. You just pop that bad boy in, and you're good. That just gets you through. Get you through the night. Then we got the kill. The kill's the fucking sea donkey. That's what I call it. That's the one night stand sea donkey. You met it, you watched it, you did your thing with it that night. You wasn't proud of it. You're just
but
glad to
we've
see it.
all been there.
Yeah. You're just glad to see it get in the fucking cab and drive away and never want to see it again. That's the kill. You don't want to go back there again. Sea donkey. So that's how we rate them. So this one, we already kind of gave you how this bad boy starts off.
Yeah.
Rodan said you got a big juicy booty sitting there at the sink.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
go ahead and get us into kind of like backstory what this. I would say give a backstory on what this thing's about, but
Yeah.
holy shit, you can't really give a backstory
No,
because
no,
it's just
you
so
really
fucking
can't. You
no.
just get into it,
You just
and then
got to dive in and go,
you're
and
like,
that's what.
what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
So yeah, she's doing the dishes, and she hears some voices, and she peers down into the drain, and she's like, I think the voices are coming from the drain. Um, and then her husband shows up, and hubby Juan is like, hey, remember the other day when we ran over a dog and then we saw the dog alive a couple of days later?
where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
because
That
he
just
was
came out
like,
of nowhere.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
like she comes in the kitchen. You could tell she's kind
Yeah.
of worried. He was like, "Oh, remember that
Yeah.
dog we hit the other day? It's still
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
alive." And I thought at
Yeah.
some point in this movie, I was gonna see said dog, but no,
No, no, you didn't.
we just
No.
threw it out there that we hit a dog and the dog's still alive. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And then she's like, "Yeah, why don't you go listen to the drain?" And I think he goes and listens and he's like, "Oh, it's just that noisy dude next door. They're so noisy." Um, and then
but
the
she
husband
tells him
went,
because he's like it just like old pipes or whatever, and she even
"Oh
tells him,
yeah,
she's like,
yeah,
"I was hearing voices,"
yeah." And
you
then
know.
he says, "So what were the voices saying?" And she
Yep.
said that they're going to kill me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then they're in bed, asleep. She gets up, um, goes to the bathroom. He is still in bed and he's hearing the noises. So he starts banging on the wall and shouting at the neighbor that, it's too early to be fixing things. Stop banging, asshole.
But
He goes,
as he's
yeah,
banging, I'm
yeah,
thinking, is this like an apartment building where you are like sharing the same fucking wall? But it's
yeah,
not. When he
yeah.
leaves
It's
his
just the neighbor.
house, it's like
Yeah,
the next house over.
yeah,
Like you're
yeah, yeah,
beating on your fucking wall with a shoe.
yeah, yeah. And it's a single family dwelling.
Yeah, it's not like this dude is connected to your room.
No,
I'm
no.
like,
So
you're hearing,
something's clearly already not right.
yeah. Because when he first started banging, I'm like, okay, it's like an apartment where you got like the room is like 6 inches apart. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
no, it's not. It's a whole fucking different house.
yeah, totally different house. Next door neighbor.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why he goes to the neighbor's door and he starts buzzing, and then he get some crackly little noise on the
Yeah.
buzzer.
Yep. Creepy little
Um,
sound. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and so the next door neighbor, his name is Walter.
Walter.
Um, Walter. So
Yep.
Walter, so he goes back inside the house, Juan does, that's married to, Clara, that's Juicy Booty. He comes in and he's like, "That's not Walter," and then he still hears the thudding, and then he goes into the bathroom where he sees his wife.
But leading up to that though, I thought
Tw
when he came back in, like the whole time before he went to the neighbors, he's beating on that wall with his fucking shoe.
Yeah,
And I would have thought at
yeah.
some point his wife would have poked her head out the bathroom door and been like, "What the
No,
fuck are you doing?" But no, he
she
runs to the
didn't.
neighbors. No, he runs to the neighbors, come back, and he
Yeah.
still hears the fucking banging.
Yeah, yeah, and so then he finally goes to the bathroom, and that's when we see Clara, and she is moving, like, from the ceiling. There's something moving her, and just
Yep.
bam, 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 just
Slamming her against the
swinging,
wall.
and it is brutal, and
Oh
he is
yeah.
trying to stop it, and he's like, "Clara, Clara, stop," and it is intense, and it is terrifying, and it is sad, and he can't stop it, and she's just being bludgeoned to death by some unseen entity, and it is a glorious, glorious scene.
It is because at
It's
some
really,
point when he stands there looking at her for a long period of time.
yeah, and
Like
he's like, "Claire, what are you
he's
doing?"
just watching her ping pong back and
He's just
forth off the fucking bathroom
going
wall,
like
and there's
that,
blood
and the
everywhere.
noise is still going, and
Yeah.
it's just that the noise. I mean, fantastic scene.
Oh yeah.
That is gore.
Because
Yeah,
it just
yeah, it's brutal.
it's just not what you have no clue that something like
Yeah,
that's coming. Like no clue.
no,
And so when he walks
no.
in and you're almost having the same reaction he is while he's seeing it. You're
Yeah,
going, because I remember I watched it again today, hadn't seen it in forever. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? And that's the same thing old Juan was thinking. And at that
yeah,
one point when he tried to stop her from swinging back and forth, and he's like
yeah,
trying to hold her, and I'm
yeah.
just like, hold on, dude, they're gonna think you did this. Like
Exactly.
it looks like you're slamming her head against the damn wall, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, poor old
yeah,
fucking Claire.
yeah, 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 and that's how he ends up, I believe, in the next scene. I think that's when they're all talking to him. I
He's
think
in the
that's when we
fucking
meet.
nut house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
'Cause-
no one believes him
oh
because it's
no.
unbelievable, but isn't that where we meet the paranormal, I guess, trio, if you will. I think that is when Dr. Mora, the female, and Rosentalk and Yano, the paranormal investigator,
Yep.
and the supernatural researcher. And yeah, he's telling him their story. And I want to say, oh, then they show one crime scene photos and he's like, I don't want to see it. And they're like, no, this is not your wife. This is something that happened years ago.
Like
And it was
1998,
basically,
several years ago.
yeah. So it's the same shit, different year.
Yep. Something totally different.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
shit though. And
yeah,
they were basically asking him, like, has anything strange happened in your neighborhood in the past couple weeks? And he tells him, he's
yeah,
like, about Walter doing the same work. Well, then
yeah,
they ask him about this Walter dude. And when he says the
yeah,
name, they recognize that name. It's like
yeah.
they know some shit's up with this Walter motherfucker, however you say his damn last name. I can't pronounce it.
He's just Walter.
He's just fucking Walter. That's all I want to call him. And but then when it kind of stopped and then it jumps, and then we get Walter at his desk in his office.
Yes.
That's what he was
And
calling some fucking doctor.
he is drinking coffee. He's got all his little styrofoam coffee cups and he's making those phone calls. He really needs to talk to this doctor. And they're like, she's not available. Too bad. And Walter's clearly losing his mind. He's not sleeping. Then what does he do? Oh, so I think, my notes, drinking a lot of coffee.
Oh yeah.
So then he goes home and he's looking under his bed. He gets the camera. He's setting up the camera. He keeps checking under the bed. He's falling asleep like on top of the covers with his clothes on. I think maybe he swallowed some sleeping pills. The dude's a mess.
When he goes to the bedroom and takes his pills, he comes back, gets in the bed. And
Yeah.
this dude's laying there and he finally goes to sleep. Well, all of a sudden, next thing you know, the bed starts sliding back and forth. And he like looks under the bed, don't see shit again.
Yeah.
But then when the camera goes away, when he finally rolls back over in bed, then it lets us see that little fucking creepy thing.
Ooh, it's so creepy.
Yeah. You see it under the bed, and then all of a sudden the fucking lights go out. All the lights go out.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there when I'm watching it, I'm going, Walter, why the fuck are you still in this house? Like, I don't get it. I would have been gone. Bags packed.
Out the door.
Adios, amigos. That's my Spanish for y'all. Adios, amigos. I'm out.
But no, Walter's still there like a big dum-dum.
Walter's a trooper. He's a trooper.
Yeah. And so he's setting up the camera to record while he's sleeping. And
but you remember?
And then there's a really nice touch.
Before that part, remember though, that same night, the first night after he gets back in bed and he pulls the fucking sheet over his head like a little kid. Like, kids do back in
he's
the
like
day.
saying his prayers.
Yeah. And then you see that fucking hand coming across. You see the shadow of the hand.
Fingers, and he's still just praying under the sheets.
Yeah. And I never understood the hiding under the sheets thing. I would want to see it. Like, I'm not putting my head under something. No. Like, I won't sit there. I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Like, the dude's under the sheet, and I'm just like, oh, dude, you're just asking for it.
He's like, if I can't see you, you can't see me.
Yeah, like, what the fuck's that sheet gonna do, Walter?
Nothing.
Not a fucking thing.
So he wakes up, and then in the morning, shit's been moved all over his house. Like,
yeah, his room's full of furniture.
Yeah, which is kind of like a poltergeisty scene, Things are not where they belong.
Yep. Then we get fucking Walter back at the office again, coffee cups everywhere. He's wanting to talk to this fucking doctor. And the secretary is just a rude ass bitch because
Yeah.
She's just blowing him off. She's just like, well, she ain't got time for this, blah, blah, blah. And basically saying that the doctor needs proof of everything going on. And that's when you kind of
Yeah.
you start figuring out like she's like it's like paranormal type shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But then that's when he goes home with the camera though.
Right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Uh-huh. And he sets that up, and um is that the wardrobe scene next?
Yeah, because he sets the
Yeah.
camera up, and when he sets the camera
Yeah.
up, he crawls in bed, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, all the fucking lights go out again.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And
Uh,
so the noise wakes him up. The camera's on the floor, the
Yep.
shadows on the wall. He looks at the camera and he sees the figure standing over him as he sleeps.
That fucking thing was creepy.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally creepy.
He's
And then
like
it
butt
disappears into
fucking
the
naked.
wardrobe.
Butt
Yeah,
naked.
it's totally naked.
All you see is creepy thing ass.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
leaning over him.
Yeah. It's not a good ass. It's just a
Yeah. It's just
big blobby ass.
yeah, and it's just like, I'm worried if I'm Walter at this point, I'm worried. Like
Yeah, you should be.
what has naked
Yeah.
creepy thing been doing to me at night when I fall asleep?
Yeah. And it looks really tall, doesn't it?
It is a very tall, creepy thing. Very tall.
Yeah, yeah, because when it's standing over the bed, I think you see its
Yeah.
size, and it's
Like
just
just like
massive.
looking down at him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Then he goes
yeah,
back into the armoire. Is that what they call them things? An armoire?
yeah. I was calling it a wardrobe, but yes,
Yeah,
armoire. That's what it is. Yeah, depends on
it's easier
where
to
you
say
live.
wardrobe thingy. I can't do armoire. Armoire don't roll off right.
Armoire. So he gets his gun and he opens the wardrobe, and there's nothing but clothes.
Yep.
And then he watches the video again and he says, "Who are you?" And then here comes the figure from the wardrobe again
The
and
crazy part
attacks
with
him.
that, when he's watching on the video, the creepiest part was when he seen that fucking thing come out from under his bed.
Yeah.
Like on the
Yeah.
video, he watches it crawl out from under his bed. And once again, I wish I could ask Walter, what the fuck are you do? What are you sitting in the floor for, Walter?
Why are you even in that house?
I don't get it either. I don't get it.
Don't you have like a cousin you could go stay with?
Yeah.
There's somewhere you could go
Yep.
outside of that house if you don't feel safe. But what if I think a shared fear amongst all people is that, we are what's under the bed. We all kind of have that what could be under there. So
Mm,
that's a good scary thing to have in this movie.
it
And then
is.
I think he gets attacked and maybe that's the last we see of Walter.
Yeah, because when he's on the floor watching the camera, the
Yeah.
thing you see it, the thing comes back out of the little wardrobe thingy,
Yeah.
and all of a
Yeah.
sudden you hear him scream, and that's it.
That's it. We
Then
don't
we
see
get
any
the
Walter.
next morning or the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
We get us a little boy coming into his yard.
Oh yeah.
He was thirsty.
Yeah, because he was playing outside with his
Yeah,
friends. They're
playing a
playing
little
ball.
playing a little soccer.
Yeah. Yeah. And the voice comes from the outside. So the kid goes to the faucet for a drink of water, and a voice from inside the house says, "Do not drink from water faucet. Go away." He says, "Go away." And
Yep.
then the kid backs up and
Fuck them kids.
fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. Holy shit. The kid has the ball and he's walking back and he hears the voice and wham, here comes the bus.
Yep. Just
Wow.
wipes him out.
Wow. Just fuck them kids. That was
Yep.
it. He's gone. That's crazy. Wow. What a brutal thing to happen.
And you definitely didn't see that part coming. Like when he's no clue at all, because nothing about this movie up till now made you think, fuck them kids.
No.
And so when he's backing up into the street, you're just thinking, okay, creepy voice, little boy scared. All of a sudden,
I'd be scared too.
bam.
Yeah, because we have not seen any children up until this point.
Yep. And
Yeah.
now little boy's done.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And the crazy
then-
part
oh.
was after it was over, and they're coming out there like when Juan and all them were coming out, and it looks
Yeah.
to me like the bus driver got off the bus and hauled ass.
Ooh, I think I missed that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
you
go back.
see somebody come off the bus, and all of a sudden he's just running. And I'm thinking, is that the fucking bus driver? Just like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
going
go
to
back and
jail.
watch that part.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
I think it was the bus driver. He was like, fuck this.
Because that's so real. Like
Yeah,
somebody would really do that because people are fucked up. Yeah.
yeah. So then we get the funeral.
Yeah.
Then we see Alicia, who is the mother of
Yes.
the pancake boy who just got splattered by the bus.
Yes.
She comes home, and then we get a part where they introduce us to Jano. He gets a
Yeah.
phone call,
Yes.
basically saying that this little boy was killed outside of his house. It's like they know this person in this house.
Yeah.
And for some reason you'll go to this whole fucking movie and have no clue who the fuck Walter is. No fucking clue.
Yeah, Walter's ancient history at this
Yeah.
point. So yeah, they call I think is it commissioner? Are we to the point where the police officer Fuentes, Commissioner Fuentes, is this the point where he calls Yano
Yep.
after the funeral? Or
Yep.
did I
Because he
skip?
calls Wano Jano. I call him Jano, and he
Yeah.
calls him and basically
Like,
telling him about what happened. Well,
yeah,
then
so
we
he
get,
calls,
and then that's when we get Alicia, the mother, in the
yeah,
kitchen having a smoke. You know,
yes.
I don't even blame her. A little stressed
I
out.
don't either. I don't either. She's lost her kid. It's pretty fucked up. Um, and then Yano arrives. So yeah, I think Yano's excuse me, my voice is hang on, I need a sip.
Hey, take a sip.
Thank you. So uh Commissioner calls Yano, sends a car for him in the middle of the night, and then when Yano arrives at the dead kid's mom's house, he's greeted by Fuentes on the front steps. And then my favorite line of this movie is when Funes asks, "Nothing really scares you, right?" And Yano responds, "You never know. Let's see."
Yeah.
And that's when they enter the home, and the officers are already there, and that's the officer you were like in the, you didn't know who that one guy was.
Oh yeah, that one dude's name.
Yeah, yeah, that's him. That's him.
Oh, okay.
So they go in and they're like, the cops are scared. They say they saw him move. And then Fuentes says, I swear I saw him move too.
Because whenever Jano gets out there and meets Fuentes,
Yeah.
outside the house he's looking, and on outside the house you see these fucking handprints and these
Yeah.
feet print that are like
Footprints.
going up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
You know, and when they get in the house, these other officers come in there and they're kind of like, "Can we wait
They're like,
outside?"
"Mm-mm."
And I'm like, I don't even blame these motherfuckers. Especially once you see what they seen. You
Yeah.
know, I would have been done gone. And
Yeah.
then fucking fun guy, Fun and Jan, I call him Fun and Jan. Fun and Jan go up in the kitchen. And when they go up in
Ooh,
the kitchen, what do we got sitting there?
yes. Yes. The decaying kid is seated at the table with a bowl of Fruit Loops, cookies, and a glass of milk in front of him.
And when I seen him, I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck is he even that the bus smashed you? Like
Yeah.
this bus fucking plowed into him. You
Yeah.
know, I was thinking it would just be a fucking mess. But
I guess his mortician did a really good job
I
putting him
guess
back
so.
together.
Kudos to the mortician, dude. You made the family proud. And
Sometimes they just want the deceased to look good.
yeah, and we got little dude just sitting there at the table,
Yeah,
stiff, zombified
yeah,
looking, with a
yeah,
with a fresh bowl of cereal and milk, like
yeah, yeah.
fresh.
So here's something I just thought of because this whole time I've been thinking he came home and his mom put all that in front of him. but he put that in front of himself, didn't he?
I think he had to
He had to
because
because he was
mom,
like, home. I'm
because I
home. I
think,
want some milk and cookies and some
yeah,
cereal."
because
Yeah.
mom was just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck mom had to be thinking at this moment
She was
because,
all fucked up. Her
yeah,
kids
because
did.
she seen, like when she went out that night before, when she went to the door, she
Yeah.
seen the feet prints and shit
Yeah.
out front.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could, when they seen her the next day, this lady had to have checked out. Like you're mentally had to be
Yeah.
fucking
She's
gone.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And little dude just sitting there. And because even fun guy said, hey, one of the detectives said they seen it move, but
Yeah.
you know, nothing really happened up till then. So that's when
Yeah.
old Jano goes and gets him a little spoon.
He does.
He wants to do the breath
he
test.
he does the spoon test under the kid's
Yeah.
nose.
But then he sees his fingers are all torn up.
Yeah.
And then he makes a comment to him like it looks like he dug himself out of the grave,
Right.
you
Right.
know. And but then Jano's trying to tell fun guy, like he's like, you know, sometimes families are so upset over their lost ones, they'll
Yeah.
dig up the old. It's kind of like a way of like, this is the way we're going to sell this
Yeah.
to everybody else. Like some family member went nuts, they thought they couldn't handle living without him.
Yeah.
And mama's batshit crazy. She went and dug
Yeah.
him up out of the grave and brought him home.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be a more logical explanation than what is going on.
Yeah, because when the
But
lights went out, when the
uh
light, who turned the fucking lights out?
I
Jano
don't know.
did.
Yeah.
Why? Why, Jano, did we turn the
Yeah.
fucking lights out?
Yeah, yeah, because they're sitting there talking about it. The kids at this end of the table, they're at that end of the table, and they're kind of having a conversation, like,
Yep.
kind of quietly, because the kid's over there. But then he turns out the light mid-conversation, and I think that's the point when, when the commissioner gets busted, because apparently he had been sleeping with the mom at some point in the past. Like, this is when Yano figures out that Funes used to pork the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fun guy and the mama, they had a little side business going on together, you
yeah,
know. And but like as soon as he flipped them lights out, he's telling him like, "Yeah, I know her. Like I know her." Like when he said, "I
yeah,
know her," it wasn't just
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I know her." It was like, "I know her." Like,
I know
yeah,
her.
physically, spiritually, they know each other.
Ah, and the
And
kid is like, fuck this.
yeah, kid's not
Go
happy. Kids knocks the fucking milk over. You hear the glass fall over on the table. And now we flip the lights back on.
And
I'd have
now the
been like,
lights are staying on.
Jenna, what the fuck are you turning the lights off for? Like they just kept on conversating after Jeno turns the lights off. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
Jeno.
ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that didn't make it. Maybe that's because they wanted, the mom to get some sleep, but they turned the
Maybe,
kitchen light off.
maybe, but
Mom's in the living room, so it still doesn't quite add up, but then they're talking about, maybe she needs some liquid Valium because we've decided we're gonna bury the
yeah, they're
kid.
gonna rebury it. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
want it to
yeah,
get out.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
they're
just gonna
gonna
be like
rebury it.
everybody would be better off if we just
Yeah,
forget this happened. Let's put it
yeah,
back in a hole
yep.
and let it be. You know,
Pretend
just
it
let it go.
never happened.
Yep.
And
And
then Yano's gotta get in that kid's face one more
oh
time,
yeah.
and he's gotta just say, "What's happening, kid? Why did you decide to visit us? What brought you here?"
Yep.
So, that's just, like, in that little kid's face, it's just crazy,
Yeah,
so
he got way too close to the kid. Like when he
yeah,
was up
he
in his
did.
face, I was like, this thing's about to either turn towards him. I
Yeah,
was expecting something, but we didn't
and
get
he
nothing.
and he
And
stinks. He stinks, I don't wanna be
yeah,
that
they
close.
they they talk about how bad he smells. And but which is crazy to me because little dude was like super fucked up with it only being 4 days later. Well, they
Yeah,
said it was like 4 days after they had buried
yes.
him, but he
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
really fucked up, you
Yeah,
know.
he did, he had decayed quickly.
Yeah, I haven't dug many people up out of the grave to know how they would look 4 days after, but I
But
would.
if he if he were embalmed, he wouldn't have looked that bad.
Yeah, he was pretty rough looking.
And
And
I don't know. I know we embalm here in the States, but I don't know. I'll have to Google that and find out. Maybe he wasn't embalmed. I don't know.
I don't know how they do it down there in wherever the fuck they were at.
Yeah, Buenos
But
Aires. I don't know.
okay.
I'll Google that.
Yeah. And then and then next thing you know, Jano goes outside. He needs a little breather, a little break. And he looks
Yeah.
over at Walter's house and then we see Dr. Albrecht
Yes.
taking
Yes.
pictures, which was the
Yes.
doctor that Walter was calling
Yes.
earlier to get her help.
Yeah. And she was too busy and didn't have time for him.
Yep. And here she is now taking pictures of Walter's house. And Jano goes over there like, hey, are you looking for somebody? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, and Jano, and this he recognizes her. He
Yeah.
knows that she's like a paranormal type lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and I think she recognizes him because doesn't she say something about alluding to the fact that his book wasn't that good?
Yeah, I can't because she had read his book or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he kind of knew who she was.
Yeah.
And he basically tells her, like, there's something I want to show you. And I knew what the fuck it was. When he said that, I was like, oh, you about to show her the dead boy.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
You couldn't help it.
Yep. And it was funny though, because Fun Guy is talking to Jeno outside the house. And he
Yeah.
was like, we got to do something with the little boy because she has friends over who are coming over to have some fucking tea. I'm like, really? Like,
Well,
you got a
maybe we
fucking
should just
zombie sitting there at the kitchen table and you still gonna invite some fucking friends over for some tea?
yeah.
Bitch, I ain't even going in the kitchen to boil no fucking tea.
Well, maybe we should put the kid in the freezer since it's time for tea. I don't know.
Hey. But it was crazy though, because when Jano takes the doctor up in there,
Yeah.
like she goes in there and like you can tell like she knows some shit ain't right. Because she said it
Yeah.
smells like death up in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's not just stinky corpse body.
Yeah.
Like some more serious shit going on up in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's deeper than that.
Oh yeah. And but then he sits down with the doctor, Jano does, and he's telling her back when he was he did like forensic type shit. He was doing like an autopsy, and he was talking
Yeah.
about how he had other bodies
Yeah.
that would like woke up or whatever.
Yeah. This has happened before.
Yeah, not his first rodeo for
Yeah.
Jano.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Jano must draw some shit to him. So I would stay the fuck away from Jano, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Good
he's
idea.
he's the centerpiece for all the nonsense. Shit. and, and so he talks to fucking old girl for a little while.
Yeah.
And then that's where we get us to this is where the little boy shows up.
Yes.
The neighbor's
His
kid.
little playmate.
He
His
showed,
friend.
yeah, and he was what? Picking up toys. I thought he was stealing shit at first.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he
Because
was like stealing old boy's toys. Like he's dead now. Fuck it, I want his toys.
These are my toys now.
Yeah, little fucker's gone. He don't need them. I'm taking them because he's putting this shit in his backpack like he's like stealing them. I thought that's what he was doing.
Because did he go over the fence?
Yeah, I can't remember.
think
He
he
may
went-
have because
I think he went over the fence like you would if you were a kid and you're going to see your friend and
Yeah.
the friend's dead. So
yeah, he's like walking by the swimming pool and he's like picking up toys and putting in his backpack. And I'm just like, dude, this little fucker's only been dead for 4 days and you're still in the shit already. But then you don't realize that at the time, but until he gets to the door. And I'm sitting there when I seen it, I'm like, oh fuck, that's where Zombie Boy's sitting in the kitchen.
Yep.
And then what happened?
And then he looks in the window at his friend and I don't think the kid even taps on the window. I think he's just looking and the dead boy we
Oh yeah,
see him turn his
the fucking
head,
head turns.
and he looks at his friend. Finally, see him move.
Yep. And you hear that,
Which,
and then all of a sudden you get the fucking doctor and them in the other room. They hear a little boy scream, and then
yeah,
they go running into the kitchen, and he's like, "Oh, somebody's been in here." Well, he
yeah,
finds the backpack that the little boy was deboing all the shit with. He was deboing all his toys. He finds it on the floor, and so he like
yeah,
picks up the backpack. Well, then they're like, the doctor's basically telling him like, "We gotta do something with that body."
yeah, yeah.
So hey, if you got a dead body and you got a deep freezer, fuck it. Put that little
Put the kid
fucker
in
on
the
ice.
freezer, but his little friend is still watching
Yeah, with a phone.
with a phone, and all
Yep.
phones have cameras.
Yep. You
So
can't get
they've
away
got
with shit nowadays.
nope, nope. If you're putting a dead boy, if you're putting a corpse in a freezer, somebody's gonna get video of that. So
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah. And little boy got it all on tape. All you see is Detective Fun Guy and Jano. No, this is before Fun Guy showed up. This was just Dr. Jano. Mr.
Yeah,
Jano, they put the
yeah,
little boy in a deep freezer outside and
yeah.
then put like a plant on top of it. Like he thought I was gonna fucking keep it in there. He just like, oh, just to be safe. Oh, what the
Just
fuck you
put this
think a
thing on
pot's
top.
gonna do, dude?
No, no one will suspect a thing.
Oh yeah, just throw the pot on top. And then it's like, then Jano, I mean, Fun Guy shows up. Fun Guy shows up and he's kind of asking where they at. And he's like, kind of like told him like we had to put the little fucker in the freezer because they out there at the freezer. And it's funny because Fun Guy tells him to unplug the freezer. He's like, unplug it. And you hear little whimpering sounds, little whimperings.
That's a good catch.
Yeah, he's making these little whimpering sounds, and then you hear this little banging noise. Like, little fucking zombie boys in there alive.
Yeah, yeah, because he's a zombie.
Yeah.
He's the undead. He's alive.
And but before that happened earlier, remember he told Fun Guy to go
Yeah.
come back with some concrete. They was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
rebury this little boy instead
yeah,
of figuring out. They were just gonna put him back in the ground, pour some fucking concrete on him,
and
and let
that's
it
it.
be done.
Call it a day.
Hey, a job well done, Fun Guy and Jano. Throw some concrete on this little fucker. Let's move on with our lives. Not so simple here, people.
It's really not.
And
Oh,
then we jump back to Juan in the crazy house with them
yes,
3 people.
yes,
And they're basically needing his permission
yeah,
to stay in this house.
yeah,
We're about to go straight poltergeist up in here, and
yeah,
they want to get up in there and investigate some shit.
yeah, yeah. It's about to get weird.
Go ahead and tell us what happens.
I'm trying to remember. Okay. Um,
Well, I know when they get
so
to the house, remember, they all decide to split up.
yeah, so they get to the house. So Yano and um Funes go to they are they in Walter's house?
No, because Fun Guy and that other doctor go into Walter's house.
Right, 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 right. So
Yeah,
they're
and
in
then
Walter's house. And
eh,
so then Yano's in the other house, and
Yano's
when
in
he
Dead Boy's house.
okay, he's in Dead Boy's house.
Yep.
But when he looks out Dead Boy's window to the other house, he sees the figure. Are we there yet? Or did I
Yeah,
skip a
because when
part?
they go into the house, the lady doctor goes into Juan's house.
Right. So
Yep, and
she's
then
by herself.
yep, she's by
So
herself.
we've got
Jano's in the dead boy's house by himself.
right,
And Fun Guy and that other doctor are in Walter's house.
right, right, right. And they've
And
got their recorder,
yep,
and she's got all of her little. They've
I don't
got
know
all
what
their
the
little.
fuck she had. A whole lot
Yeah,
of weird shit.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know how they do Ghostbuster shit down there in Juarez, wherever the fuck they were at. But
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, that's how they do Ghostbuster shit down there with some compass shit. I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck they were
she's got
doing.
a compass and there's like all kinds of little things. Um,
It was
and
funny
then
though, because that one part where they were in Walter's house, fun guy and that other doctor, and they're like looking around, and the one doc looks at old fun guy, and he just like, "Are you afraid?" And I'm
yeah,
just like, "Fuck yeah, I'm afraid, dude!" Like,
great.
and I couldn't
Yeah,
figure out why fun guy was even hanging around.
yeah.
Like
I don't,
it was like he had options. He had every
yeah,
option to get the fuck out of Dodge.
yeah, he did, but he hung around. He
He
hung around.
wanted to. He had to serve the people. You know, he was a
I guess,
serve the
yeah, I
people.
guess he needed to solve the case because he's the commissioner.
I guess so,
Uh,
but you know, he was about to retire, dude. I would have been like, "Fuck this."
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, and then doesn't the friend, uh, the little friend, the mom leaves a message on the
Oh
voicemail
yeah,
of Dead Boy,
yep,
and guess what he said he saw? He was just going there to get his toys.
yep,
Yeah. So then they're like walking through the house. They've got their little light. Then they go to the kitchen and there's all the cutlery and it's stuck to, I'm pointing like at my kitchen. I'm like, it's stuck over there.
yeah. So I guess magnetized to
Yeah,
the cabinets.
magnetized. Yeah, yeah. And does he reach into the cabinet? No, he gets stabbed.
Yeah, because the one doctor dude starts playing with them, like moving them
Yeah,
back and forth and shit.
yeah.
And next thing you know, his hand gets slammed up in there,
He
stabbed.
fucks her and he finds out.
Cause he's just like something up in there sucking the blood or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But we never see anything though.
No, we didn't see anything. Like you said, very poltergeist at this point.
Yep.
Um,
But crazy though, that doctor kept telling fun guy Rosenstock, however you say his name, he was
yeah,
like, "You don't have to stay here." And
yeah,
as soon as he'd have gave me that little bit of an opening, I would
yeah,
have been nothing but the fucking tail lights out of town. And I'd be
yeah,
like, this ain't my problem no more.
yeah,
I'm out.
yeah. But everyone is still here, and she still has her little witchy poo gadgets.
Yep.
And sorry, there's a cat.
Oh
Go
no, it's
away.
all good. It's all good. And but the whole time this is going on, like all the shit seems to be really all the houses have shit going on with them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the doctor, the lady doctor, she's over there in Juan's house, and there's like this massive crack in the wall.
yeah,
And earlier on, Juan mentions that to Walter about how he had a crack in his wall. And then we got Jano over there in Dead Boy's house. He's
yeah,
got shit moving around. And that's when Fun Guy calls him up. And he was
yeah,
like, I want to leave. And Jano's talking to him. And while Jano's talking to Fun Guy, he's like, where are you at? He's like, well, I'm in the kitchen. He's
yeah,
like, but I see somebody in the window. He's looking over there where Fun Guy is.
yeah,
And that's when you're seeing that same fucking creepy thing in the window.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then yeah, because you can see it, and then he's like, I don't see you. Well, I see you. Well, that's
Yep.
not me. It's just some weird, yeah.
And then
And
whilst he's looking at him and he kind of disappears, but then the next thing you know, he's right in front of fucking Jano,
yeah,
and it's like one of them like jump scare moments,
yeah,
that definitely gets you. I enjoy a good jump
yeah.
scare.
And I want to say there's like three jump scares in this movie. But then doesn't Rosentalk start to kind of lose his shit at some point?
Uh, I do know that at one point he calls up the lady doctor and
Yeah,
he's kind of like, we don't need to be here.
yeah,
And she's
yeah,
just kind of like, well, let's just end the investigation
yeah,
and get out of here, you know.
yeah.
But Fun Guy is trying to save everybody.
Right.
Fun Guy left the other house, went over to
Yeah,
Jano.
yeah,
He finds Jano all fucked up.
yeah,
And then he runs over to the female doctor and he's like, hey, my friend, Jano's fucked up. And then that's when that fucking hand comes through the crack in the wall. and grabs old fucking doctor upside the head.
Yeah, didn't see that happening.
No, fucking knock, just takes her out. Just you tell it like slams her head against the fucking wall a couple
Yeah,
times.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And
Yep.
I think at this point, um, um, Fuentes, I want to call him fun guy now at this
Yeah.
point,
He's a fun guy.
um, is he starting to like feel
He
like
has a
I
heart
like
attack.
he's having a heart attack. He's like,
Yep.
this is some stressful bullshit. I'm starting to have a heart attack.
Yep. He goes out, knocks out on the floor. But when he's out and you tell something's wrong with him, you see
Yeah,
this thing crawling out the crack in the wall. Like
yeah,
this another one of them creepy looking fuckers crawls
yeah,
out the damn wall. And still
yeah.
up to this point, we have no clue what any of that shit fucking means.
No,
No, it's
no.
just this thing comes out of the wall. You see it. Next thing you know, fun guy wakes up and he goes out of the house.
Yeah.
And how'd it go?
I
Shit,
think
I'm
that's when he goes
blank.
to the other house. At some point, he finds Yano and he has, I guess, turned.
Cause when he woke up, remember he looked out the window and he seen fucking what's her name standing there,
Yeah,
the boy's mama.
yeah, yeah.
And she comes in there and he's trying to talk to her because at one point they were fuck buddies. They knew each other.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he's trying to talk to her and she's telling him now that she has heard that voicemail and she has talked to that little boy's mama about how they
yeah,
took her little boy
yeah.
and buried him again to
Right.
make it look like she was crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And she's like, what the fuck? You try to make everybody think I was
Yeah.
crazy rather than really tell what was happening.
Yeah. And fun guy's on the ground. I just had a heart attack. Just get me to the fucking hospital. And at first I was like, this bitch is not gonna help you. But then next thing you know, they're going out to fucking her car. And like I'm like, okay, she's gonna help the old boy out. She's gonna take him to the hospital. What happens when we get to the car?
What happens when we get to the car? I think another does another creature come towards him, or is that still in the
No,
house?
remember once they get to the car, you see her get to the car, and
Oh,
when fun guy gets to the car and open the door to get in, he looks in the back seat,
oh
and
yeah.
old girl has went and dug her dead boy body back up, and he is now sitting in the back seat of this car, and she's just like, I wasn't going to leave him. I wasn't going to leave him. Like, first off, bitch, how'd you get him out of the fucking concrete's what I want to know. Like
And
they buried him in like some concrete this time.
then the irony of, oh, you just let everyone think I was crazy, but what
Yep.
she just did was crazy.
Yeah, like, damn it, lady, you just dug up Junior here, and now he's sitting in your back seat like you're going to the fucking playground with him. Like,
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
and yeah, he just needs to oh fun guy, man. This dude at some point he has the heart attack didn't kill him.
No,
Nothing has killed him. There's got to be a part of this old dude that would just be like, just fucking end me now, you know.
but
So
he keeps on going. Doesn't he smoke a cigarette in the car? He
yeah,
goes
because
ahead and
he
lights
gets in
up.
his car after
Yeah,
he sees dead boy in the back seat, gets in his car, drives off. I'm like,
yeah,
good job, fun guy. You
yeah,
finally decided to get the fuck out of Dodge.
yeah,
He
yeah,
goes out to some old like empty parking lot somewhere smoking a cigarette. But
yeah,
then he hears one of his detectives is now shown up at the little shit show area in the neighborhood where everything's going down.
yeah. And then they're like, I'm outside of the mom's house. And he's like, get the fuck out of there. Then he goes to the mom's house.
Yeah, he
His
goes
ex,
back
what's that?
because he's like smoking a cigarette. And when he's
Yeah,
like looks at the cigarette,
yeah,
and then the next thing you know, he likes fires his car up, and then it starts playing like this music in the background is like he finally is like, fuck this. I got a plan. I want to end these motherfuckers. It's got all the badass music playing. Like I'm gonna end this tonight. And he heads on over there, gets back to fucking old girl's house and grabs him a couple gasoline cans.
But surprise, where is she?
Who?
Old girl, Alicia.
Oh yeah.
She's
She's
home.
she has strung her ass up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Remember,
surprise.
remember when he went
She's
to the
like,
bedroom and he's like pouring gas all over the house. And I'm
yeah,
sitting there going, as I'm watching it, I'm going, dude, you don't need that much gasoline, damn it. You just need to light the fucking match and get the fuck out. But he's like dumping gas and he gets to the little boy's room. And he's just like, when he sees the door and opens it up, I'm like, don't open that fucking door, dude. Don't open the
uh,
door.
why would you do it?
That was a good little jump scare there when old fucking
Yeah,
little
I'm gonna say
Junior's
that's
looking
jump
up.
scare 4. I'm counting the jump scares now. I think that's the 4th one so far.
Yeah. But I was like, and then so he's still pouring gas. He goes back toward the kitchen, and that's when you see something hanging in the background.
Yeah,
And that's old girl,
yeah.
whatever the
She's
fucking
had
name
enough.
was.
She's done.
Yeah, she just hung herself. He goes
Yeah,
up there like he gonna shed a tear, like pauses. Like, I don't understand the pause, man. Like, he stands there and looks at her with some tears in his eyes. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
where have you been the last 2 hours? I would
yeah.
light this bitch up and be across the border somewhere else and be gone.
The the kid is already back in his bedroom.
Yeah,
His mother has hanged herself. I'm assuming, I don't think the kid did that.
I don't think he did either.
I think
But
she did it herself.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think Mama's just, I don't know. But
because the
let him
kid's
just,
just a kid. He's just doing kid stuff, and he's
yeah,
like, "I wanna go back to my bedroom."
yeah. And Mama's
So,
like, I
yeah,
can't
she
handle it.
pauses.
And
It's
so,
dramatic.
and then we finally get Fun Guy comes out the house. And I'm just like, finally, you're going to like this fucking match. And the funny part to me, I laugh when he's lighting the match and it keeps going out. And I'm sitting there watching it going, oh, of course the fucking matches aren't going to light. But then the funny part is you got fucking Jano
And then, of course, her friend, yes, he shows up.
with his eyes fucking bloodied out because of the glass.
So gross, just his eyeballs,
Yep.
and they're oozing.
And Jano's blowing out the fucking match every time he lights it. I laugh when I see Jano sitting there just like,
That's pretty good. And then we're back in the hospital,
well,
and
then
we're back.
fun guy pulls
Oh,
his gun.
oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about the part. Yeah, the
Yep.
gun.
And that's where he shoots the gas area and finally lights the house on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And then we
And
go
then
back
we're
to the crazy house. Back to the crazy house.
oh
Well, Mr. Blumetti
yeah,
was Juan's last name.
yeah. And I think that's a whole new crew of because
It is.
everyone else is dead.
It's
So
like a
it's
year later, I think.
yeah, and it's all starting back over.
Yep.
Um, but I guess Juan's just been safe in the insane asylum.
Hey, if
He's
I'm
been
one, I'm counting my lucky stars that
yeah,
I'm in the padded cell right now
yeah,
because he's just okay. Because when they show up, they show him 3 pictures, and the
yeah,
3 pictures are of the ones Jano, them 2 doctors,
yeah,
and who were there a year before trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
yeah.
And but then you see fucking Juan looking over their shoulder off in the background. And he's like, did he come with you? And they're kind of like, what?
Who?
Oh, yeah. And,
Ah,
and then the fucking picture they show him is he says it's of that one dude doctor, the one that had his hand stuck with the knives.
yeah,
And they show him the picture and he's like, it's him, but he's all burned up,
yeah.
you know. And I'm just like, they show him a picture and shit. But then old Blumetti, Juan sees old Dr. Roy. And then out of the blue, and this is where this bad boy just cuts and ends. That fucking chair got me. I'm not gonna lie.
And then so I was disappointed in that. I have
Yeah,
to say, I love this movie. And then the very ending, the jump scare with the chair, I was like, God damn it.
yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why I hate it. I can't say I hated it. I would have preferred a different ending, but I
Mhm.
don't know what.
Yeah,
Because it makes sense. Like when you just said it, I'm like, oh, that totally makes sense. But every time I've watched that ending, I've been like, motherfucker, I don't like that.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But you like the ending.
How that? Well, no, I didn't say I liked the ending.
Okay.
I'm just saying
Okay.
that's how this bad boy wraps up.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of how we just spoiled the shit out of this movie. We've gone all the way through it. Now we're come up to the end of this bad boy,
Yeah.
and this is where you tell me what did you like about what was it about this movie that you liked?
I just love that it was so damn creepy. And I really don't usually paranormal isn't my thing. I like slasher, I
Hmm.
think more. But for some reason, this was just so creepy because it kept us guessing.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We didn't see anything except for that one entity. But just so many things were suggested. So I like that the whole neighborhood was afflicted.
Mm.
You know, it wasn't just one, it wasn't a haunted house. It was the entire neighborhood. Fucked up shit is happening between these three houses. Um, and the dog that got hit, like all of it was just, things are dying, but they're coming back and they're circling around. They're circling back. So
Dude,
I just,
now that you said that, do you think that's why that dog was still alive?
yes. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That set up the whole thing. And I think that's why I've watched this movie a few times, which may indicate if I'm gonna marry it, fuck it, or kill it.
What are you going? Which one is it? Right out the gate. You marry, fucking, or kill her.
Right out of the gate. Well, I wrote a little note about it, and I
That's
have to
okay.
read it if I
Read
can
it.
find it. 'Cause now my eyeballs are going cuckoo. But um, I would say that Terrified is a fun fuck that didn't make me come because the only thing I don't like about this film is the jump scare ending. So
Mm.
it's a fun fuck. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna say I would fuck it. I'll watch it over and over again because I have watched it over and over again. And
Yeah.
every time I'm just as confused, but I can see where it loops around. Does that
Yep.
make sense?
Yep.
What do you think?
I am in my rating on this one is I'm with you. It's a fuck for me.
Yeah,
It's a and I didn't think it was going to be a fuck until I rewatched it today.
interesting.
Because I thought because of what I'd seen before, it'd been a while since I've seen it. And I'm just like, well, I've already seen it. I just don't know if I will get that same feeling. So it may just be a kill for me. It's a one and
Yeah,
done. But then once I rewatched it today, after it being about a year or so, and still being able to be that like caught by the jump scares, caught by the like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah,
And I was still able to experience that again. And I'm just
yeah,
like, okay, I could see this being a not every month, maybe once a year, once whatever, to come
yeah,
back to it just
yeah,
to have that little jump scare, to have that moment. So
yeah,
it is definitely the friends would benefit fun fuck that
yeah.
you could
I agree.
always come back around to. And
Yeah,
but yeah, I had it was fun because that was like, you know, the whole time I'm wondering like, what the fuck? And it
yeah.
never gives you anything. You're going to
No,
get to the end of this bad boy and
yeah,
still not know what the fuck's going on.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
But you and I both like those kinds of movies
Yeah.
that have you kind of draw your own conclusion. They're not spelling it out for you. You have to figure it out. And I feel like I've probably watched this movie about 6 times within
Mhm.
the past year, and every time I see something different, and
Yeah.
every time I'm like, "Oh, now I get it." Like, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely a fun fuck for sure.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I had fun watching it again, and
Yeah,
like I said, I could. It's definitely one of them I would go back to again.
yeah,
Because it is like you said, you'll pick up on some things because it's like the whole dog thing.
yeah.
I didn't think about that the first time I watched it. I didn't wonder like, what the fuck this dog got to do with anything? Maybe this is
They
why. Maybe this whole
Yeah, it
fucking
was just
town, this whole little neighborhood's fucked up.
yeah, it was just mentioned in passing. He was like, "Remember that dog? We ran over it, we thought we killed it. Well, we didn't, it's still alive. How great is that?"
Yep.
And, it's not always how great is that because, like
I-
Stephen King in Pet Cemetery, sometimes dead is better.
It is very true. And with this movie, I would they could have done there could be a sequel to it. I don't know if they will. Because it's been
That's
like
what I
2017 when it came out originally. It came to the States in 2018. But
yeah,
I'm just like, man, I would like there's more they could do with it, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That is what I thought, another thing about the ending that's just the one part that I'm like, "Ah," I feel like it was just cheaply done, like,
Mm,
boom, here's a chair in the face, and that's the end, and I just feel like I wanted more,
yeah.
and maybe that's why they did it that
Yeah. If you're
way.
gonna give me that type of ending, then you need to and I get it. I wanted it to follow up with something else. Like I wanted
Yeah,
to be more. And I get it if
yeah,
they totally decide to be like, we're just gonna fucking leave it hanging there, you know.
yeah,
Kudos. You got us talking about it. So it worked out. But
exactly, yeah, and it did circle back a lot, so, I like that, I like that
yep.
a lot. It's a good movie. Um, I'm gonna have to Google it, but the, the most re oh, here it is. Um, When Evil Lurks is the 2023
Oh, that's a good one.
that, Demian Rugna came out with. So,
Have you watched
um,
that one yet?
I've watched it once,
Okay.
and maybe I'll rewatch it tonight because, yeah, I've watched it one time because it's the same director,
Yeah.
and I thought it was really good because it's demonic possession,
Yep.
and, yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it tonight when we're
And it's
done.
also got them fuck them kids in it. It
It
does.
does. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Fuck Them
Yep.
Kids because you're not expecting it, and that's really fucked up.
Yep. I like it. But yep. So
Yay.
that's our that's our shit about fucking terrified. It
Oh,
is
we did it.
hey, we did it. Like I
Did we
said, it just
did we keep it did we keep it under 2 hours?
I don't ever keep time here. We have no plan here. There's no plan, ever a plan.
Yay.
Um but yeah, it was a good pick. I'm glad you picked it. It's because it's been a minute since I've seen it. And
Cool.
but like I said, I had a good time with it.
Yeah,
Like I said, I appreciate you coming on here. And like I said, the door's always open here. Like I said, I don't have no set plans. I do episodes with Lucy. I do episodes with Dylan. So
cool.
if you come across something that, hey, have you seen it? Want to talk some shit about it? Let me
Yeah,
know because it's a lot more fun when I got somebody across from me to shoot the shit with than when it's just me talking to myself. But
yeah, yeah. I totally get that.
yeah, but I had a lot of fun with it. And like I said, thank you again for
Yeah,
being part of this little fucked up family we got here.
yeah,
And
I love it, and thank you for having me, and someday when I have my voice back, I would love to be a guest again if I didn't totally butcher your shit show.
no, 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 you're good. You're good. Like, you say that like you haven't listened to the past episodes, damn it. You know how the fuck we roll here. There's nothing there's nothing
'Cause I
professional about this thing.
I kept thinking, "I'm gonna go on that, and I'm not." I know that you drink your Gentleman Jack, and I'm not gonna do that because. And then tonight, I was like, "Fuck it, I have a sore throat, I need hot toddies," and oopsie, so I drank a
See?
little bit.
See? Hey, I
Got
tell
a little
everybody this show goes better with alcohol. I would
got
I
a
tell
little
people
while
all the time.
Yeah, it's a lot better with alcohol.
Yeah, we go better with alcohol. I recommend everybody before listening to this show to, be a little bit inebriated, you know.
Just a little.
But hey,
Thanks
like I
again.
said, thank you again for coming on. Thank everybody for tuning in, for following
Yeah.
along. Thank everybody who has liked, subscribed, or whatever. You can see the website at the top of the thingy here if you're on YouTube. But Fright Flick FMK podcast, we're on all the social media shit. But I think that's going to do it. Anything you want to put out? You're good?
I'm good, but I think we all know what time it is.
It is. It is. This is that part of the show, people, where I need you all to reach over and I need you to grab your drinks. I need you to put your chairs away, gather up your shit, and get the fuck out of here.
So you like to listen to people talk about crime, but did you ever wonder why criminals do the things they do? Like what makes them tick? My name is Debbie, and I'm the professor at True Crime University. Join me in the classroom Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts, for intellectual discussions about crime, psychology, and why criminals do what they do. See you there.